Hey man.
How are things?
Good. Hey, how are you feeling?
I feel pretty good considering the current circumstances. So, obviously, we're going through what do we call it, a crisis?
Pandemic?
Pandemic, yeah. So, but it gives me a good opportunity to find out different ways to innovate. And we can discuss a little bit more of that later today, hopefully, with our workouts.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, gives me more opportunity to spend time with loved ones and make sure everyone's healthy, read,
Yeah,
etc.
which is good. And I think what I've found is that I was speaking to a lot of my friends who are in the UK, and we're having to get really close on this mic. It's almost like a mic kiss, which is you're probably not allowed to do at the moment. Is that it's actually forced. What I've seen, it's kind of forced everyone to stop. And obviously, coming from London and going back there, it's really obvious to see how much of a rat race it is. And I never really kind of appreciated that before. And I think I mentioned this before in previous episodes, but this, in a sense, has kind of forced everyone just to stop. So it allows them people to take a bit of a breath, not have to, even if they are working, they're working online, so they're not being pressurized as much to always be somewhere on time or having to go through millions of people on the tube, just kind of be ushered along as we all are when you're there like cattle. And I think it's just giving people the opportunity to just, like say, read a book or really connect with their families. There's an app out at the moment called House Party. I don't know if you've got it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
For those that don't know, House Party is like it's just your pretty standard video conferencing app, but they've got some kind of fun quirks to it. So you're allowed to 8 people, and you can play games and stuff. And it's something that all me and my friends, when we downloaded it like 2 weeks ago, we all went on it for 2 days straight. I think I spoke to them more than I had done in the last year, just because I was like back-to-back video conference calls. And rather than, it's so easy now let's say before, it's so easy just to drop someone a message on WhatsApp or Facebook or whatever. You're not really checking in with them. You're just kind of like sending them a message, just not really listening to, not really vibing how they feel. Where with this thing, House Party, I found it was really, really good because you can see who's online, and even if they're online and say I'm speaking to someone random, and then you're like, hey, I see Jamie's online, his room is not locked. You could just come in my room and be like, hey, what's going on? But I did that with one of my friends. She was chatting with 2 of her mates. And I just thought, oh, fuck, I'd had a couple of glasses of wine. I was like, fuck, I'm just going to go in. So then I just went into this random room and then just started speaking to them, and it was just, it's almost what you would do in real life, like an actual house party. When you go into the kitchen, you're like, I know that one person, I'm going to go and join that conversation. So it's quite nice having that dynamic. However, on the flip side of that, having to have to do kind of video calls all the time for work, I found that I was in it over time. I was getting screen fatigue. Is that something you've experienced, or
Yeah.
How you dealt with that? Because obviously you're online a lot as well.
Yeah, I worked night shifts for 2 years, and yeah, my eyes started to burn for sure. There's an app called Flux that's useful. It can dim your screen.
Oh really?
It helps you bear with it, but it's not going to be a solution. I think there's these glasses you can get as well that block some sort of
sunglasses.
light. Yeah, they block the light in the screen specifically to help you deal with it more.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, it's a good time to take a step back and reevaluate, and yeah, just try and see if there's an opportunity. It's tough, but some good things can be achieved as well.
Yeah, and I think one thing I'll just before we jump into our guest, one thing that I actually did today, which is something we've discussed anyway about being more mindful and kind of thinking about meditation and being, doing mindfulness sessions. I did this thing today where I went outside. It's about kind of beholding the abundance that is around us every day. And what that basically means, well, to help that, abundance is basically when you have something, when you are full of joy or happiness and you're totally content. Now that can happen every day. When you just look at a baby that's they've got no agenda and they're just laughing joyfully, and you can pick up on that. And one of the sessions that I was doing to start this basically was to write a list down of 50 people. And they could be dead, they could be alive, they could be friends, they could be people you don't know, they could be celebrities, whatever, that have had an influence, positive influence on your life, and they've helped you grow. And it took me, I did that outside today in the shades, just kind of watching the world go by. And then for every name you put down, you have to then think how they've helped you in your life and what they've done. And it was just really, really put me at ease. It was really strange. It made me feel really calm afterwards. It's probably too calm, so I'm a bit late for this. So sorry to see that. And then the top 5, the first 5 I wrote down, just sent a little message, just say, hey, look, this is I'm glad you're in my life, and this is an impact that you've made. And honestly, it was just such a nice thing to even do, and it's actually quite emotional when you get a response from it as well. And I think some of us are just starting to do that. I think it's a really nice thing to do. But I'll talk about that in our next episode. I'll find an episode of the series. Gonna go hippie. If only I could grow my hair. Okay, cool. So obviously on with the show, and today we are going to be talking about CrossFit. And we have got the awesome Denise Gafa, I think I pronounced that right, I always get the net surnames wrong, who is a level 1 CrossFit trainer. She's now started competing, and is basically going to give us all the insights into CrossFit. I mean, I don't know about you, have you done much CrossFit? Or
I probably suck at CrossFit. I haven't told you about that yet, but yeah. I've actually been in one of the CrossFit boxes, but I shit my pants and I ran out because I just found it really daunting. I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh shit, I'm going to go. So for me, I'm going to find this really useful because it's, I guess, I'm sure that I'm not the only person that has got this kind of a bit of a barrier how to get into it and where to start. So it'd be good for us to, or good for me anyway, just to kind of understand how to get into it, what we can do, and what the benefits are. So office space is awesome. Personally, I've worked in a multitude of co-working spaces, and these guys have totally hit the mark. Not only with their community team, but the whole joined up togetherness, if that's even a phrase, of their offering, despite the fact they have multiple office locations, really brings and accentuates a genuine community vibe I've not experienced anywhere else before. Also, if you're just an individual trying to build an empire, or a bigger scale-up company looking for a solid yet connected workspace for your staff and even for yourself, these guys are it. Not forgetting the fact that every Wednesday they really like to cook up an awesome lunch and share that with everyone, which is such a nice little touch. And they have got a brand new location on the Strand, which for those that are not in Malta, it's in Sliema, which has got an incredible and ginormous roof terrace. So I know exactly where I'm going to be this summer, burning my bald head and working. So if you guys are interested, please go to www.sohomalta.com/dosed for discounts and any inquiries. So, Denise.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hi.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling at the moment?
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
I just came from the gym, just finished an isolated workout, obviously,
Of course.
considering the circumstances I have to train alone. But yeah, I'm feeling good.
And
Feeling good.
how are you?
It's all an adventure.
How are you finding working alone? Because typically you
Yeah.
work in a group, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm usually in a obviously the gym is packed, and well, hopefully it's packed. But I'm finding this actually very good. I've been hitting a lot of PRs lately, so I guess training alone is
What's a
actually
PR? Just for those. that wouldn't know.
personal. It's a PB. It's a personal best, personal record.
Okay, cool.
It's
It's such an amateur gym.
Yeah, some might not. My mum might be listening. Going, what the hell's a PR?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I have been hitting a lot of those lately, and I think it's because there's a lot more focus, and I have a lot more time. I've been sleeping a lot more. I've been eating a lot more, so everything is just helping, and I'm enjoying it. I mean, I can't
What's
lie.
considered a personal best for you? Is it a specific, like an exercise, like a squat, or is it something?
Yeah, so
particular?
you let's say there's the back squat, there's a front squat, there's a snatch, a clean and jerk, or just a clean. And I have PR'd in all of the movements.
Epic.
I mean, all of the barbell movements.
Wow.
Over the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you just had that focus. On it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Again, there's nothing else to do.
It was great. And I also PR'd in some gymnastics work. And when you PR in gymnastics work, let's say, for example, ring muscle ups. I don't know if you ever heard of ring muscle ups and what they are.
I've seen you in
Yeah.
action.
Yeah, I do post a lot on my Instagram. I do post a lot of me doing ring muscle ups because I have put in the hard work.
Yeah, for sure.
It must have
I
taken
do train a lot. I do a lot of ring muscle ups. And I have PR in that as well. And I don't know if it's because of training alone or because I've actually not a day goes by that I don't practice them.
So before we jump into obviously talking about CrossFit, let's just kind of find out a bit about you. So you're from Malta?
Yeah, I'm from Meisterschlock.
Meisterschlock?
A fishing village, very small fishing village.
Beautiful
in the
fishing village.
The best fishing village.
Yeah.
The only, I mean, if you could say, I think it's the only fishing village. Maybe there's another one. I don't want to mention anymore. Yeah, it's a nice place.
Yeah.
Really, you know. So I've been brought up by the sea. All my life I just know, you know, boats, sea, fish, you know, air, blue skies, blue, you know, the ocean, the sea. It's just lively, you know. So I would never be put in a place. No offense to anyone who lives in busy cities or anything like that, but I would never be put in a city.
It's again, I'm from London originally. I'll never go back to live.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I live like Slima, Sierra side anyway, which is quite densely populated. But
you know, it's an island. Malta's an island. I think if you live in the very center and you're still on an island, you know, you're still like 15 minutes away from the sea. So
it has a big effect, I think. And so, what got you? You know, what have you always been interested in fitness, or you know, what's guided you towards kind of where you are now? So, what was the initial point, and you know, when you were younger, that this kind of got you here?
Yeah, well, when I was young, I was a let's say a party animal. Like, so I loved parties. I loved drinking. I used to smoke.
No, I'm not joking.
I still love them, you know, but obviously now my priorities have changed.
Yeah.
But when I was younger, I was quite unhealthy, let's say. I partied too much. I drank too much. Used to, you know, smoke. And then once I had a panic attack, and I got anxiety. I got diagnosed. I was in depression.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, I was on medication also for a couple of months, because obviously then people start telling you like, no, stop the medication, do this, do that. Anyway, and so I stopped the medication. I started seeing what's wrong. I stopped smoking, stopped drinking.
Did you have any effects from when you stopped that medication?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you were just like, okay.
I don't know, because the thing is, I didn't want to be dependent on anything, because I know that in the long run I was only 16, 17, so it's like I had my entire life in front of me, and I didn't want to, you know, be taking meds for my entire life. So I was young, and I started to look for the root of the problem, and I was in a bad relationship back then. I was too young to be in a relationship anyway. So, came out of the relationship, started walking, which was a big thing for me, because I couldn't even walk 50 meters without having heart palpitations,
Really? Wow.
dropping on the ground. Yeah, I was really bad. I did 4 ECGs in a month. Yeah, thinking I'm gonna die. The fourth one, the doctor didn't even charge me any money because he's like, "Dear, you're so young. Like, go home, do something." But yeah, so then step by step, I started increasing my walks, like the length, the distance. I made new friends, started going out again, started drinking, but like very moderately.
Yeah.
Still didn't catch on smoking. I let's say I kind of like rebuilt myself, kind of like I like when you need a reboot.
Yeah.
You know.
Exactly.
So yeah. So then at 18, I decided to start going to the gym. Since now I'm walking, might as well,
Yeah.
So I started bodybuilding. I started doing that.
Wow. To start with.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
What drew you to bodybuilding initially? That's
I don't
it's
know.
not
I
the
mean,
usual
people.
person to think of.
It's like the first thing when people say get fit, like go to the gym. That's what you do.
Bodybuilding.
Yeah. Okay.
You do bodybuilding. The first thing you do, because obviously, what are you gonna do at the gym?
Yeah. Okay.
It's not that. I mean, and so then I got into that, and then I wanted to look better, and I started to I started a diet, but that was too little for me. 1,400 calories if I remember,
Oh wow.
and that's too little. But I wasn't training as intensely and to be fair, bodybuilding is just. I mean, you're not doing any cardio, so really you can't be eating a lot anyway.
Yeah.
So after bodybuilding, I started doing multiple sports because then obviously I was building up muscle and I was becoming like swole.
Swole. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I looked really chubby and
Oh really?
unhealthy.
Okay.
It was muscle. It was.
Yeah, okay. Is that the water retention on the muscles?
Yeah, and
Okay.
fat,
Yeah,
and fat.
okay.
Because obviously you're not doing any cardio. You're just,
Oh,
and you're
I
still
see.
eating
Yeah,
and.
okay, yeah.
Because diets were not good for me. I was still over. I was in a calorie surplus every time. So so then I started. I started sports. I started MMA. I did kickboxing. I was always into fights. But then, funnily enough, I come in to spar with someone, and I'm like sorry all the time, and my coach keeps yelling at me. You can't apologize. It's the sport. Like, why the hell are you doing this? Anyway, so yeah, that's me. So yeah, I got into different sports: tennis, football, rugby. I've basically tried it all, but I never stick to anything.
Okay.
So I was kind of like still looking for my passion. Let's say.
Yeah.
And then one day I googled circuit training, or I think it was circuit training, and some CrossFit came up.
Right.
And that's where I googled CrossFit, CrossFit in Malta, and I found the first CrossFit box in Malta that came up. Coincidentally, it had just opened, and I went for it, and I did lose a lot of weight. But then, so I started to lose weight.
Wait, was that the goal?
Yeah, that was the goal in the first place.
Okay.
But then because CrossFit is very competitive. It's a very competitive sport and it's very vast. So then I started being obviously competitive with myself, with the people around me, because the community is big. The community is everything in CrossFit. Like if you, it's what keeps you actually going as well. So it's not just the results; it's the people at the gym. And so then I started seeing results in my performance. Going higher in squats, doing a faster run, swimming. It's because CrossFit is so vast. It's basically a high intensity sport that combines gymnastics, cardio, and weightlifting.
Wow.
And it's super vast. So if you're doing super well in one thing, there's always something else to overcome. So
and when you say it's good because you're competing, so or it's about the community you're competing. What do you mean by that?
Because,
how
like,
do you-
for
how do you
example,
compete exactly?
let's say in a class, so in a class you have around, let's say, 10 people, 10 to 15 people,
Mhm.
and you have the same workout to do, or the same strength work to do. And obviously, let's say, uh, I don't know, a benchmark. Let's say, okay, 7 minutes AMRAP burpees, for example. So I do 150 burpees. The person next to me did 110, or the other person did 100, or some people could do 50. Some people,
7 minutes.
so
Wow.
yeah, and it's so that's where competition comes in. Obviously, the community it's so fun that it is a competition with the people around you and with yourself, but it's not like there's not much ego in it as much as there is in bodybuilding. Because, for example, in bodybuilding, sure, it's still competition, and one is competing in performance, and one is competing in aesthetics. But when you compete in aesthetics, it's much like ego goes way deeper, because aesthetics, it's how you look. There's nothing on the inside.
It sure does. I have to agree. Actually, that's one thing I'm kind of learning about CrossFit. It sounds like it's really strong in the community aspect. And I think bodybuilding has a community in a way, but you really need to be heavily involved in bodybuilding.
Yeah, exactly. And you need to be heavily involved in yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know when was the last time you've been to the gym, but if you go to a global gym, to a normal gym, and you see the people, they're always alone. They train with headphones on. They're very quiet, like very isolated, and
That's me.
whereas too bad.
Get out of my zone.
If you go in a CrossFit box, you see the people once I wore headphones while I was training in a CrossFit box, and I got yelled at.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, because you're being
Isolate. You're shutting yourself off.
and that's nothing. That's not CrossFit.
Yeah. And I see this all the time in the gym. When someone new joins the gym, they don't really know what to do at the start. They're not really confident within themselves.
Yeah.
It actually takes some months to get into that groove
It's true.
and to get addicted to it. Essentially,
Yeah,
that's what pretty much happened to me.
It's very boring. It's very boring.
Yeah.
So to get addicted to something, to routine, and by the way, routine is the enemy of CrossFit.
Mm-hmm.
Like CrossFit is very varied. Like it's a varied sport. So if today you have I don't know, 1 RM snatch followed by a 30-minute workout. Tomorrow you're gonna have high repetition skill work, and let's say a 10-minute workout.
Yeah.
And the workouts vary. Like you have AMRAPs, EMOMs. You have workouts for time. You could even do a run, and that could be a workout.
What's EMOMs?
Every minute on the minute. So
Okay.
you do. So let's say you have 5 movements, and you have 30 minutes, and every minute you have to do each movement for 1 whole minute.
Oh, I see. Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. So that requires. And do you do this every day? So the regular person would do this every day. Would go to CrossFit every day, or is it like twice a week? How frequent?
The EMOMs?
No. Just into the actual classes themselves.
Okay.
Sessions.
Well, it depends. I guess it depends on the people. Like when I started CrossFit, I used to go 3 times a week, for like an hour session.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you start, if you really want to see results, you have to go 4 to 5 times a week.
Okay.
Let's say.
Okay.
Nowadays, since I'm, I wouldn't call myself like an advanced athlete, but or even an athlete anyway. But nowadays, I would like to compete. That's my goal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I train twice a day.
We've seen your ring ups, so we'll call you an athlete.
Yeah, they're called ring muscle ups.
Oh, there we go.
Don't worry about it. So it's like we're recording right now.
Nice.
So yeah.
So one thing, that really stands out to me is I completely actually agree with you when it comes to bodybuilding. I've been doing bodybuilding for a long time, and I just do it for fun.
Okay.
And to be honest, I never took it to the next level of competition, which I don't really have a problem with. When I go to the gym, I just do it for mindfulness kind of purposes. Anyway, I love just actually speak to no one, being in my own world and just do my thing and just getting out. Yeah.
I mean, I don't mean to be like, I don't mean to insult anyone.
But I know, it is completely I don't even pat myself in the back because I enjoy doing it so much. So it's like a privilege to go to the gym. Whereas before I used to pat myself in the back saying, well done, you did the gym today. But
Because
these
you
days
had
it's not anymore.
longer to get used to
Exactly.
training. Well, I always say, I mean, as long as you're doing something, you're not doing any harm, you know. So I just said CrossFit. I'm a bit biased on CrossFit because obviously, well, I'm into it, and if you ask anyone who does CrossFit, they're all biased.
Yeah.
It's a very biased sport. So
Yeah.
but there are proven facts that you can't be the fittest on earth by doing bodybuilding.
No,
You know?
100%, yeah.
So when it comes to being the fittest, you're definitely.
And there's definitely something in that kind of group mentality because, for example, if I was playing football, I used to play football back in the UK, 11-a-side, and because of sadly my day job, I have to travel most weeks across Europe. So my routine is there is no routine; it's just all over the place, and it means that I miss out on things like football, which I don't even class as exercise because I'm just in there and I'm doing what I enjoy. And
Exactly.
But I miss when I'm not playing it because it gets you so healthy because obviously you're constantly sprinting rather than just kind of going for a jog along the
And it's fun. Like you're not thinking what is the time? Like how long have I been doing this for? You know, it's when I compare my time doing bodybuilding and my time doing CrossFit. Like when I compare the two different sports. Time goes by so quickly when I do CrossFit. Like I'm at the gym for hours and hours. Like now I don't go to the gym twice a day because of everything that's happening in the world. So I go once and I still do my 2 day I follow a program. It's an English program, and it gives you a workout to train twice a day. But I do that in one go, and I actually do. Like I finish everything in an hour.
So you do 2 sessions condensed into one?
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
So how do you prevent injury when you're training twice a day? Must be tough.
Well, I do listen to my body. I try because people tell you have to rest, and your rest days must always be on Thursdays or on Sundays. I don't do that. See, I try to just listen to my body when I need the rest.
Yeah.
And if, for example, today on my program, I have a lot of upper body strict work, for example, and my shoulders are dead. I skip that and I do it the day after. And I just do something else on that day. That, for example, if today my shoulders hurt but my legs are, they're good, I do leg work. But obviously I try to fit everything that's in the program. So.
Yeah, makes sense.
But if I wake up one day and I'm sick, and I'm bad, like like physically, not just mentally, I'm physically really bad, and it could be Monday, it could be Saturday, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah, that's a good way of doing it.
But then there's a difference, and you need to know when to know the difference.
Yeah.
If you wake up and you just don't feel like it, that doesn't mean you deserve a rest day.
Yeah.
You only deserve rest days if there's an actual reason why you should take a rest day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, if you wake up and your mind isn't there but your body is strong, you should do that even more. Like you should go to the gym even more, and you should, because that's where you
push to the next level.
That's almost that's when you believe. There's a motivational video I shared where it's about believing in the process. It's like you have to follow a process, even if and it's the day you follow that, by following that process, when you're tired or your mind's saying, "Oh, don't bother," but you do it anyway. That's when you really have to
exactly. I mean, when you're in competition.
I'm just thinking, I'll tell you why I'm laughing, because I have a confession to make. Sometimes if I'm hungover, I'm like, fuck it, I have to go to the gym. It's the only thing that's going to make me feel good today.
And you actually sweat it off, no?
Yeah, you sweat it off. Yeah, you do.
Oh, training on hangovers. I miss those days.
Has to be done. For an Irishman.
Yeah.
Deadly.
So in terms of obviously there are a lot of misconceptions about CrossFit. So it'd be good to maybe delve into them. So one of them, I guess, is and this is for my own. This would be good to kind of understand for myself, and probably one of the reasons. Even though I am intrigued by CrossFit, I never really kind of delved into it properly because of me constantly traveling. I always thought, okay, I won't be able to get into a routine, I won't be able to go because I'm only in Malta 3 or 4 days a week. So is CrossFit then, is it a lifestyle or is it turned into a lifestyle that basically takes over your life, or is it something that you can, can you adopt and then kind of tweak it to how you would, how that suits your life?
It depends. It depends what kind of athlete you are. If you're if you're the mother that wants to just fit in some fitness, some training sessions in her week, just to get the fitness, that's one thing. But if you're a person who wants to compete in the future, or just, let's not say compete, but if you're someone who's really into it, then yes, it has to be. It changes your entire life.
Yeah.
It depends. For example, let's take me for example. I can't imagine myself being, for example, in a relationship with someone who doesn't do CrossFit, or even live in a household where there's people who don't believe in a good diet or in good training, or it does affect.
It's just positive energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sense.
Well, can have a bit of an anchoring on your outlook as well. If you're trying to push more of a positive approach or to fitness, and then someone's having a negative, they're going, well, I don't really care about.
That's one. But even that's one thing. But let's say for example, I have a competition coming up, and when you compete, you need to be, you need to follow the program, you need to follow the diet. Unless you're this, you're one of the lucky people who don't follow anything and just go there and be blessed on a podium, by not putting in the enough effort. But I'm not that person, I am. I have to really work hard for my results. So to do that, I need to follow the program. I need to follow a good diet. I need to eat clean, and you really cannot eat clean. Let's say if you live in a house where the person who cooks for you cooks bad food, or even if you have to cook the food, and it's just just doesn't make any sense.
I completely know what you mean.
Like, even if you need to get in the rest, like you need to sleep, let's say minimum 8 hours a day, and the person you're with doesn't care, like he doesn't give a shit. So you're up all night. You need to compliment, like you need to support each other.
Yeah.
If it's your mom, your dad, like your family, your girlfriend, boyfriend, anyone.
Yeah.
It really affects you. It really does.
So do you need to get into CrossFit then? So do you need to come from an athletic background, or say if you're like one day you listen to this and go, okay, do you know what? I'm going to this summer I'm going to start CrossFit. Where do you start as someone that has never worked out before? Let's say.
No, you just literally just go to any CrossFit box and you go in and you start. See, in a CrossFit session you could adapt to, and you could scale to anything. Like, for example, let's say I'm a beginner and I want, let's say the first time I entered the gym and started CrossFit, I was stiff. I just came from 4 or 5 years of bodybuilding, so I was really stiff. And so then you have a workout, and the person who's been doing CrossFit longer than I have does one variation, whereas I can scale it down to what I am able to do.
Can you give me an example?
For example, pull-ups. See, if you have pull-ups in a workout, an advanced person does very beautiful butterfly pull-ups, super fast, very good. And the beginner can't even do one kipping pull-up. So in that case, you scale them down and give them a band. Okay. Or give them ring rows. There's always a variation. There's always a scaled version to the movement. Mm-hmm. So if you're a beginner and you go into a CrossFit class, there's always something to do. You can never say, I can't do this, because there's always a scaled variation of the movement. Yeah. That's why it's good, for every beginner to just go in.
So one thing I need to understand about CrossFit, how does it differ from like a boot camp? CrossFit is like a kind of a worldwide kind of phenomenon, right? It's like it's like a franchise, right?
Yeah, so, it's a CrossFit is it's a brand name.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a sport that started I believe in 2000. Oh gosh, I forgot.
Sometime in the 2000s,
yeah. Somewhere in 2000. But I don't want to say a number. I might
So people compete from all over the world.
Yeah, it started. Yeah, this all started in America by a guy called Greg Glassman. So he created the name CrossFit. That's a brand name. So even, for example, let's say CrossFit gyms, they need to pay an yearly affiliation to call themselves a CrossFit box.
Yeah, I see.
Even CrossFit coaches, they need to do the CrossFit courses to be able to call themselves CrossFit trainers.
So what does it entail to become a CrossFit trainer? So what types of can you talk us through the course or the courses?
Well, there's a lot of courses to make, but the first one, which I mean any CrossFit coach does for the first time, would be the CrossFit Level 1,
okay,
which is like the beginner CrossFit Level 1 trainer course. The one that I have, I'm very new. I'm a baby. So that's the first one, and then you have the CrossFit Level 2, which requires obviously you need to have the Level 1 and experience in working in a CrossFit box, and then there's a Level 3, Level 4, and then there are CrossFit gymnastics, CrossFit for kids, CrossFit.
Wow.
It's big.
Okay,
the
so if someone is, so you're saying they need to have that affiliation to be able to then provide the CrossFit opportunities or to provide a CrossFit box. Are there other gyms out there or claiming to offer CrossFit but that aren't actually affiliated?
Well, unfortunately, yes, there are a lot of these people out there, and I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying they're bad coaches. I'm just saying, they're ripping you off because CrossFit boxes pay a lot of money, like yearly, to have the CrossFit affiliation, and CrossFit coaches, they've been through the courses. They also
standardized, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Paid money. They also put in the time and the effort to become a CrossFit coach. Whereas there are these people who are probably, I don't want to bash anyone, but like they have a basic personal trainer course, let's say, and they open a gym. They call it. They might not be able to call it CrossFit gym because obviously you need to pay the affiliation to do that, but they call their sessions a CrossFit session. Well, first of all, that's illegal because you can't. You need to pay the affiliation to call yourself that, and then they tell people that they do CrossFit classes, and which is also breaking the law because they're not CrossFit coaches. They cannot be giving CrossFit classes. It's very case sensitive because, for example, let's say I have a CrossFit Level 1. I am a CrossFit Level 1 trainer and I can train CrossFit to people. But if I train CrossFit in a gym which does not have the CrossFit affiliation, even I cannot say that I am training CrossFit. I could say I'm training like CrossFit methodology, based, but I cannot say I train CrossFit.
Right, I see.
Unless I'm in a CrossFit box.
So that's something that people should potentially watch out for if they want to get into CrossFit. They need to just make sure they do a little bit of research.
So many people, they how do you say it? They mix circuit training with CrossFit. That's totally different. Totally different. I mean, you could have a circuit workout in CrossFit, but circuit training is not CrossFit. Circuit training is very routine, like it's very one thing to another, to another, to another, to another. I mean, fine, you have different movements, but it's the same thing. You're doing the same structure of a workout. It's the same. Whereas CrossFit, you could be doing 5 rounds of something into an AMRAP of something else, into a 5K run, into a swim, or you know what I mean? Like it's very vast and it's very varied, and that's what circuit training is not, and it's definitely not CrossFit.
Wow. And it sounds like there's if you're going, these sessions, I guess, are available every day.
Yes.
It sounds like there would need to be, because it's so varied, there would need to be a lot of preparation behind it.
Definitely, for sure, yeah. Because let's say if you want to. You need to have a target, right? So before you program a session, you need to know why are you programming the session. Is it to get heart rates up? Is it to get like lots of lactic acid in the legs, and then you send them, going to run? For example, once I did a workout. It's called acid bath. So it was super bad, super bad. So it requires a bunch of leg work, and it's a sprint, so it's really fast. You have oh wow, I forgot how exactly it went, but yeah, it was a bunch of like 3 different movements requiring just your legs, like I don't know, bike. The last one was bike. I forgot the first. My God, wow. But yeah, it was deadly. But after that, as soon as I got off the bike and I started walking, I just tumbled down.
Whoa,
my
your
my legs were so bad. And at that point, you don't know how bad it is, but that's why it's called acid bath, because you got so much lactic acid in your legs.
Wow.
So every workout is different. So when you program a workout, you make sure that you know exactly what you need out of this. If you want to send someone running after acid bath, wow.
What are the age limits to CrossFit?
Age limits? Well, I guess there's no age limits. You can start at any age as well. Like I've coached 13, 12-year-olds. And I've trained 12 or 13-year-olds.
It does seem like more of a younger sport, though.
If you're lucky enough, if you're young, if you're 12 or 13 and you have the chance, like someone put you into CrossFit, you're super lucky.
Yeah.
Because for example, you start so young, and that's when your body's all developing, and you have more time to major in in strength and gymnastics and flexibility and all this stuff. Whereas if someone started at 30 or 35, they take more time to develop, because obviously their body's already.
I thought you were going to say they're screwed.
No, they're not screwed. They're not screwed.
Yeah, of course,
maybe in overhead movements, because that's the toughest, I think. I mean, I don't know.
No,
they're not screwed.
No chance.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
But in competition, the youngest is 14.
Wow.
And then you get people who are like over 60s. Some really incredible people over 60s.
And so each CrossFit gym is called a box.
Yeah,
right?
it's called a box.
Okay, it's called a box. So and you mentioned earlier off air about how you have different boxes compete against each other. Can you talk us through that? These competitions, or is that something that happens, or am I just making that up?
Boxes competing against each other. Yeah. Well, no, not necessarily, because that's very egoistic.
Okay.
Well, competitions. It's not boxes. Let's say it's people compete against each other.
Okay. So it's a bit more like
because you don't want the communities to be arguing. You don't want the communities to be fighting.
So it's a bit more like so when I was younger, I used to do proper athletics. I don't know if you know this actually.
Yeah.
And then when you have like a Grand Prix. So then as a club, we would go to a certain venue, and then there'll be 5 other clubs. And then I represent my club when I
exactly, something like that. I wouldn't say that the boxes would be against each other.
Okay.
How many boxes are in Malta?
I think 5.
Oh, wow.
5 affiliated boxes, 4 or 5.
Which is the best box?
My box. It's not my box. Sorry. Oh wow, you would kill me right now. Wow. No, the box I go to. It's CrossFit Shield one. Yeah, it's in Boomerat. So.
In Boomerat.
Okay,
nice. Okay.
Cool.
It's where I train.
Cool. It sounds like it'd be really tough in the joints, and might be hard to do like long term, no?
For the joints, I
guess it depends if you're competing or not.
Yeah, I can't. There's no way of going around this, but it's very in the long run. It's quite kind of tough.
But it's badass.
Once a doctor even told me, and I'm sure everyone who does CrossFit is going to kill me after saying this, but once a doctor told me that all people who do CrossFit, when they're older, they will suffer from arthritis. That's super bad, but
good to know.
No, but hey, you're saying that, but
you never know.
Yeah, if you're gonna have it, you're gonna have it. That's faith.
Also, there's we've been looking at things about how your diet can affect arthritis early anyway. So
there are many
I think
things,
by
you
that
know.
time, yeah,
I mean,
there'll be-
you looking at the bright side, like fine, if you're gonna be 70 and having arthritis because you lived 70 years of your life, you know, being healthy. I mean, what the hell?
But you're doing it for the love of it, you know.
Yeah,
You can
exactly.
tell, and my friends are all into powerlifting, which is kind of the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I can see it from every angle, right? So I'd say, why the hell are you eating 5,000 calories? Why are you spending all this money? And they're like, I don't care.
I mean,
I'm gonna pick up this, gonna get their PB, get it off the ground,
Yeah.
and win. And that's their mentality.
And they're huge.
And it's
they're
just for
massive.
for the love of it. Yeah, they're huge. And it's just when you do something that you really enjoy.
Yeah.
It's just you're gonna go ahead with it.
I mean, CrossFit is, like you're saying, I mean, for the joints and everything, but it is a very clean. I mean, from all the sports out there, it's the cleanest sport.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Well, I think because if not
Clean in terms of injury or drugs?
drugs,
Yeah,
let's say, because I don't know. I think
that's probably very true.
most of the
Quite
sports, you know, the people are just, let's say, not just drugs, but even like, for example, in football, it's so corrupted. I'm sorry, I don't.
It's true.
I just think football is super corrupted, and you're not really the fittest. You know, I mean, you're fit, you run, but can you do, you know, can you do an overhead squat? Can you, you know, how strong are you? You know, so I think. So if CrossFit in the long run might not be so good for the joints, but presently it's making you much healthier.
Yeah.
For example, if you take strongman, I love strongman. I love watching it. I love when I have a strongman workout in my CrossFit sessions. I love doing it. It's just so great, you know. But a proper an advanced strongman athlete eats so much calories a day.
Crazy.
They're massive. I mean, there's this, you know, Eddie Hall.
I was gonna say Eddie.
I watched his
It's English.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I watched this film on Netflix series. I think it was, or a film. I'm not sure. And you could see like that's super unhealthy, you know, and that's scary. Like, nah, that's not healthy at all. I mean, I love watching it, and like 10 points for him for being, you know.
Yeah, I mean,
massive.
it's all relative. Some people can criticize saying, oh, you know, well, the first one you always get when you bodybuild is like, why are you going to the gym? If you stop working out, you're going to get fat eventually.
Yeah.
But that person might say that and might have a cigarette in their hand.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, everything is relative in a way.
That's my point.
And obviously, when you mentioned earlier that you listen to your body, and that was really interesting for me because it shows that you know how to overcome probably a lot of injuries.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I was young once, so
yeah,
but I remember there was a time when I was like when I started CrossFit and I started you know, seeing all these advanced people doing advanced movements. I wanted to be like them. I thought I was strong because I did bodybuilding. So I went in with a really big head, and I was like, yeah, I could do this, and I would tried and I tried and yeah, I hurt myself. I had a shoulder injury from attempting so many ring muscle ups.
Yeah.
Really bad ring muscle ups, really bad bar muscle ups as well, and that caused my injury. And then I went on rehab, and then now I'm.
Injury must be the
very
killer.
good.
I always feel like even when my friends get injured or myself, I'm very prone to injury, which is terrible. I have that mentality where I just keep pushing and pushing. So, you know, it's almost like a discipline within itself.
Yeah. I mean, when you're put on rehab and you can't do certain movements, it's really sad. I remember sometimes I've cried, like I got up off the floor and trying to do a movement, and I got up and I cried and I started yelling at everyone. Broke up with my boyfriend once because of it, and then like the day after it's like, what the fuck are you doing? What the hell was that? I'm like, I'm sorry. Because of my injury. Yeah, I'm really bad. And I have an ego problem, so yeah, I have a major ego problem.
Ego is the enemy.
Yeah, that's it. Ryan Holiday.
Shout out to Ryan Holiday for listening.
And so if I'm a woman and I want to get into this, does it turn you bulky? Do you get bulky by doing it? Or?
Nah. I
mean
mean,
you're
it
not
depends.
bulky. So again, you're you're doing it every day.
Excuse me, I have muscles, mate.
Sorry, you're very bulky.
Yeah.
It's clearly a offence.
Okay. No, you don't get bulky with CrossFit. Actually, you actually lose weight with CrossFit.
I was going to ask you how much, like, you probably have to eat tons really to keep going.
Well, before all of this, I was eating around 2,300 calories a day. But I also wanted to not just maintain, but I wanted to lose a bit of body fat as well. And if I don't do that, I always go above my calorie, how much calories I should take. So that's why I kept it at 2-3. But a professional CrossFit athlete would have around 3,000 calories a day.
Easy.
Yeah. I mean, they have to.
Do you track everything in terms of...
Yeah. I use this app and I'm always tracking down. Now I lowered it down to 2,000 because it also depends on the quality of food you eat. And at the moment, I'm not eating very good quality of food because, you know...
Bread.
Not bread. No, bread is not that bad.
Okay.
Sugar is the worst. Yeah. And like nowadays, I'm spending most of my nights, watching series at night. So and I just...
It's not an active rest day anymore.
Yeah. No. And I'm just eating like biscuits all the time. After biscuits, we get chocolates. After chocolates, we could do a protein shake because we need the protein, after that, we get some yogurt, and there's popcorn, and we just keep on going and going.
Yeah.
Have you done intermittent fasting?
I've heard of it many times, and I've thought about doing it, but no, because my training sessions are early in the morning.
Yeah.
When I used to train twice a day, one of my first session was at 7.
7 a.m.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then I have
How
clients.
do you find the power at that time?
Sometimes even earlier, like on every Friday. We used to go down, when I say we, it's me and my partner. We used to go down at 5 a.m.
Wow.
to train with our other friends at the gym.
Wow.
Yeah. And that was the toughest. Waking up in winter at 4 in the morning, waking up. That was so
I
bad.
think I tried to go to the gym twice in my lifetime in the morning. And I just really struggle. I'm not a morning person anyway. I just don't have the power at that time in the morning.
It depends. See, when we train in the morning, when I train in the mornings, I don't usually do my stronger my weightlifting, let's say.
Okay.
So my strength is left for the afternoon, so I would eat enough food. But in the mornings, I love to do my conditioning, and then followed by gymnastics. That would take me around an hour and a half. Then I would usually have some clients, and then I have lunch, really big lunch. After that, I would do my strength session. Then I would probably snack or have a protein shake, or not snack or have a protein shake, and go into the rest of my session, which would be the workout, the Metcon, the workout of the day. But it just depends how long the workout is, because if it's too long, then after my weightlifting, I need to have something. I eat a lot, so I would be in the middle of a workout and stop and be like, you know what, I need to eat. I just go and eat and just continue.
Okay.
You get hungry?
Oof, super hungry.
I can sense the hungry.
Super hungry. I am very hungry right now.
I know these.
Should have brought snacks. We need to know.
Very aware.
And is there, because I know you just said if you're a beginner, just go into the box.
Yeah.
Now, that's all very well saying that. I've been to the gym for years, and I went in and I shit my pants and I walked out. So what prep can you give people beforehand, maybe just to do some, especially right now where everyone is stuck at home anyway, they can't go to a box. What kind of, is there a couple of workouts that do you want to try? Stephen and I will try here and now.
Okay.
Maybe obviously a smaller version of what that list you've written down. That people can, maybe three exercises they can do at home, even today, even after listening to this, that can at least get their mindset ready, build their confidence basically.
Before starting even.
Yeah, ones you can do at home, ideally.
Yeah, well, at the moment, there are these workouts which you can do at home, which are easy. I have written down 5.
Okay, so talk us through.
I kept them varied. So I have 5 varied workouts. So the first one is a 15-minute AMRAP. AMRAP stands for as many rounds as possible, or in other cases it could be reps, of 5 burpees.
Okay.
10 push-ups and 15 air squats. So if you don't know what a burpee or push-up or an air squat is, there's Google, Let's Google that. I'm joking. I mean, burpee, you just lay on the ground, chest on the ground, and you jump and you normally clap your hands and you go back down.
Yeah.
A push-up, I believe.
What does the burpee work on? What muscle group does it work on the most?
Burpee, first of all, it raises your heart rate by far, so it's more of a cardio movement. But you do burn. Depends. See, I like to jump down. Some people just go down slowly. So for those people, it does burn your arms and your chest.
Slower.
Yeah, exactly, because they go down slower. Whereas I jump.
So actually, because you did one earlier, do you? And this maybe I'm doing them wrong, burpees, but I always lower myself. I don't let my body go flat to the ground.
Yeah, well,
I
in
go
that
like
case,
a press up and
you
then
go slower.
kick my feet up.
Mm-hmm.
You go slower down.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, first of all, you're not being efficient.
Oh, really? Okay.
So if you're doing I don't know, an AMRAP of 7 minutes of burpees, like the one that I mentioned before, you need to be efficient because you need to add in the reps. So if you go down slower, first of all, you're burning your shoulders and your arms because you're constantly in resistance, and you're taking up a lot of time. So that's why I jump down into a burpee and then you hop back up.
Okay.
And you just literally like hop. So you're using a lot of your legs as well. I would say mostly your legs. If you could do a proper burpee, you would burn
abs.
Legs.
Abs. For me, I was thinking abs because when I've gone flat and then kicked my feet up to try and get as close between my hands as possible.
Yeah, well that's good because a core you could be using your core for everything. What I say to my clients every time I'm teaching them something is to always engage their core. Core stability is everything. If you have a weak core, you could easily have back injuries or even shoulder injuries. You could easily have injuries anywhere because the core is the core, like the core of the earth. The core You have a very weak core.
I can show you how to do a proper plank.
Let's do it. Go on.
Most people don't do planks properly.
Okay, do it.
Okay.
A 20 foot, right? You have to be louder.
All right.
Okay, I'm going to take some
space.
I'm going to talk you through.
I took my shoe off.
So we're about to do the plank. Which way are you going? This way? Okay.
Well, you can correct my plank, but
Okay.
I do one thing that
So he's now doing his plank.
that people do very differently.
Okay. You have to lower down your hips a bit more. That's it.
So see the way I clench my butt cheeks together?
Yeah, exactly.
You look great from this
When
angle.
you do that, that's very good.
But my body is almost stuttering because
It's so hard.
it actually works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas most people go like this. or
Yeah,
like this.
when most people, the way that you just showed us now, you hired your butt
Yeah.
higher. Your butt was
Yeah.
going higher.
Yeah.
That's,
Most people cheat.
Yeah,
That's
that's cheating.
So
That's
you
not
got tuck-
actually.
You gotta
you gotta
squeeze
tuck your butt.
You gotta really squeeze in.
You see, this is what I tell most of my clients as well.
Tuck your butt, people. Tuck
Yeah,
your butt.
that's it. Tuck your butt. Tuck your butt for anything. Like, if you're doing.
Hashtag touch.
Yeah, that's very good. Hashtag tuck your butt. No, that's true though. You just said it very, very correctly. You have to tuck your butt and you have to squeeze your core in any workout you do.
It's funny
You don't want to
because
hyperextend the back.
my friend who showed me how to do that, I seen him a few weeks later do a plank and I said, what the hell are you doing, man?
How was he? Because he was just like...
He was cheating.
Yeah, his butt was not tucked.
Yeah, okay.
That was it.
That's very good.
So what else? So air squats,
Okay,
pretty
so-
standard.
Yeah, so then you have air squats, which
Yeah.
is, I don't know, most people know of the back squat, which is the squat with the barbell on your back, but
Yeah.
an air squat is basically, you squat without the barbell.
Yeah.
So,
Arms out in front of you.
yeah, I mean, you could. Some people like to keep them down.
Okay.
Some people like to use them for momentum, like swing them around.
Yeah, okay.
But the what counts as a rep, as an air squat rep, would be your hips go below parallel when you go down.
So shall I do some squats? We're going to check.
Go for it.
It's my turn.
All right.
Because I do squats, but now I'm thinking, okay, what if I'm doing it wrong?
I never do air squats, but I
Okay.
do squats. That's for sure.
My boss always says that he always does them at when he's brushing his teeth. Because he says,
Really?
whilst he's brushing his teeth, he can do like 20 to 30 squats.
wow.
So I was like, and it's become part of his life.
Okay.
So I'll put my arms out. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, wow, you're not going below parallel. See?
I'm not.
No,
Oh,
so
shit.
go down. Probably because you're wearing jeans, though.
Now these are stretcher jeans. Okay.
I think the microphone picked up all the crap.
Yeah, with my knees.
I was hoping
Okay,
it
right. So I
doesn't.
need to go lower.
Okay.
This
There
way.
you go. And see, you're caving in. So your knees are caving
Yeah.
Okay. So what does that mean?
That means you need to be more. You need a bit more mobility,
Yeah.
Okay. So I need to
more
go.
ankle mobility. So what
Oh,
you
I
have to
see.
do in this case is try and open your knees.
Okay. So go this like down like this.
Probably space is probably an issue too. To
Oh,
go
that's
forward, maybe a little bit.
Yeah, come here.
There you go.
Okay. Ready?
Okay, go down, 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 down. There you
Yeah,
go.
Yeah.
Okay. So I just
Okay,
need to go
then.
wider and more.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So my feet are at like
Let's say
10 to
10 to 10.
10 to 10.
I like to say 10
10 to 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, wow, and that was
Just
much
like-
lower. So that's I can already feel.
Yeah, exactly.
I have to do 20
And when
of
you
those.
when you open your knees and your knees drive out, tracking your toes, you're actually using more of your glutes. Whereas if you keep your knees very narrow,
Yeah.
first of all, that's restricting you from going super low,
Yeah.
unless you have very good squat mobility.
Mhm.
Plus, you're not using your glutes; you're using more of your quads.
Yeah.
So
It's tough to work out my legs at the moment because I can't go to the gym.
you can do air squats at home.
I'm
There's always
doing,
or bands. You can use
I'm-
bands.
I'm doing the unilateral kind of squats, so like just pretty much.
You're
one
doing
foot.
One foot.
one-legged squats.
Yeah.
They're also called pistol squats in CrossFit,
Okay.
but you don't do them on a chair. You do them.
And I have a little box at home.
Oh, that's nice. See, in CrossFit,
It's
pistol
actually a
squats.
cajon.
Okay.
I don't know
What's
what
it called?
a cajon is. It's a drum box.
A cajon.
A drum box.
I
Oh, as
thought-
in that you can play drums
Cajon.
on the
Yeah.
box.
I think cajonas mean something else, no?
Cajonas is
Cajones is Spanish slang for balls.
Oh yeah, that's it. You would know that.
So you're saying you sit on your balls.
you sit on the
Or
cajon.
cajon. COJON. Cajon.
COJON. Okay.
No, like a drum box.
The boom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That.
There you
Oh, that's
go.
nice.
If anyone has a cajon at home,
You could try to do that
get
on the
started with
cajon.
your
There's
unilateral
also another
squats.
variation for that pistol squat. Actually, you could do that without the cajon
Mhm.
and try and do that.
Go
Nothing.
to the floor. Yeah.
I mean, not to the floor. Just
But go low.
drop down below parallel always. So it's like
Low parallel, you mean like,
Like-
so when you're...
Yeah, so like parallel is kind of when
parallel is when you go down.
Yeah.
when you're
When you
sitting.
sit down and
Yeah.
then you go below parallel, slightly below parallel.
With
That counts as
bands,
that.
what would you do for a leg workout there?
I like to I do this as a warm up. I like to wrap the bands around my thighs,
Yes.
and I like to there's you could do glute bridges.
Mm-hmm.
Depends what your goal is actually, but I like to do this. The glute bridges are very good
Mhm.
for glutes and hips,
Mm-hmm.
and lower back. You have banded air squats,
Mm-hmm.
which obviously are air squats but a bit tougher
Yeah.
because you have more resistance. Obviously, open your legs a bit wider in this case, so you have that resistance of the band.
Yeah.
You could walk from. You could tie the band around your up like right above your knee and just walk from side
Yeah.
to side of the room.
Yeah.
Um,
Lunges.
You could do lunges. You could do so many things with the
Yeah.
band.
Lunges are killer.
Yeah, I love doing like donkey kickbacks and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a firmer butt.
yeah.
Oh, that's that one, right? Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. But they're actually very good to engage your glutes.
I see.
I like to do these movements to engage my glutes more. So then when I go into a squat,
Yeah.
I actually use my glutes in that squat and I build more
Yeah.
strength. See, some people are naturally stronger in their legs.
Mm-hmm.
In my case, it's the contrary of most women. I'm stronger on my upper body, so I have to do a lot of accessory work to
Build your legs.
to build my legs more. Yeah,
Interesting.
I have skinny legs,
Ah.
tiny butt.
And you have now, well, you mentioned earlier you started competing.
Yeah.
So what does that mean? How does, talk us through, what does that mean, basically, competing? So who do you compete with, and what happens? Talk us through a competition.
Okay, so competing. Well, first of all, if it's a foreign competition, locally there's only one competition at the moment, and you don't have to do any qualifiers, so you just register for that, pay for it, and you're in.
Which one?
It's called the Underworld Games. It's organized by the Pit. They're very good friends of mine.
Underworld Games.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
They hold 2 competitions a year. I've competed twice in that. So last year and this year. There's going to be another. There was supposed to be another one in September, but I don't know. I don't know now.
Right.
So so that's like a local competition. It doesn't usually require any qualifiers. So then there are the foreign competitions which I've qualified for, and the qualifiers are basically, so you register for the competition, you pay for registration, and then they send you like 4 workouts. Let's say for example 4 workouts, and you do these workouts, and then you see where you qualified on the leaderboard with the rest of the people who registered for the competition. So if there's 90 people who registered for this competition, let's say in the UK, I registered for one called Battle of Britain.
Oh wow, okay.
We were around 90 women, and because of one damn workout, I didn't qualify so well, but I did qualify. I think I was in like 30th place or something.
Still very good.
It's good. Out of 90 women, it's good.
What was the workout?
There were double unders, and I just can't do double unders.
What's double unders?
Double unders is when you jump rope, but you jump twice. So the rope goes around twice beneath your feet.
Oh, okay.
I just can't do that, and that's been my worst enemy because I've even done so bad. When it comes to the Underworld Games, for example, when I did not the last one, the one before that, I was in a tie break with another team because it was a team competition. I was with one girl, and this other team had 2 other women. Mm-hmm. We came in tie break. We came in tie, and the tiebreaker was double unders, and I got screwed there. Because I couldn't do them, and I've been trying to practice, but I'm lying. I haven't practiced, but they're just darn fucking nasty, you know. You're jumping and you get whipped so many times. Like the other day, I went home and my boyfriend was like, "Why the hell do you have this really red whip on your ass?" And I'm like, "What the hell do you think?" Yeah, well, double unders are.
I was going to ask you what's your least favorite,
Double unders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Already answered.
Full stop.
Yeah.
No.
So you have to. So I'm just trying to visualize this. So for every jump you do, like on skipping rope, every jump you get the skipping rope under you twice.
Yes.
So it's like even double quicks. That's why you're kind of. It's like really.
I could do
you need
one.
Good hand-to-eye coordination. Then.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You need
it's just
to be
frustrating more than anything.
Yeah. It's very frustrating because obviously, I'm very fast. I'm very fast with the rope, and what my problem is, I have to go slower.
But when you jump slower and then
exactly, so you need to be, so you need to jump slower but higher, and then turn the rope faster. Yeah. So it's it's very tricky. It's very, very, very tricky. Yeah.
So do you compete in a weight class?
Okay, so sorry. Wait.
Do you when you compete? Is it in like a certain weight class or?
No. So there's categories. There's a scaled category, which is a beginner. Mm-hmm. Some competitions.
A category.
Yeah, categories.
Okay, category. Category. Sorry.
Category.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
You speak English, right?
Categories. Sorry.
Category.
No, I'm saying it to him.
Category.
I can hear.
Okay. Don't worry. Irish and Maltese accent is very similar.
Yeah, we speak great.
I speak proper English. Category.
Screw you, man. Category.
Don't get it started, Jim.
I get this at home with Kim.
So I have these categories. Yeah. You have 60 plus, 35 plus, and then you have elite. You have RX, you have intermediate, scaled, and beginner.
Okay.
And then there are teams.
So it gives you an opportunity.
There's so many different categories. Categories. Yeah, the one I qualified in was intermediate at Battle of Britain.
I see. Okay.
So
and then talk us through this. So you arrive there. Is it just one day, or is it over a week, or? So what happens?
So once you qualify, you have to pay again for entering the competition, and that's where they confirm who the participants are. Okay. And then that would be a month after, and it's on a 2-day base, and So there's like 3 workouts a day. Final day would be the final, and that's it.
And is it like this? So they give everyone the same set of workouts, and then they time it, and then if you get the fastest time, or
Yeah, exactly. But
Okay.
obviously it depends on the category, because advanced would have more advanced movements. Scale would have the same workout usually, but on a scaled version, and beginners obviously.
yeah, okay.
Cool. So is there like fake CrossFitters on Instagram?
Yeah, definitely.
Like I've seen a guy who was lifting fake weights, like piss off all the powerlifters in the world.
That I don't know.
No, really, that's hilarious.
That
He
I
got
don't
cut
know.
out as well.
Those kind of people they're just cringy, you know.
Yeah,
Nah.
it's pure cringe.
And obviously, with the current situation, you're not able to go and teach people, or so how are you? However, I'm aware and part of the group that you've set up
Yeah.
on WhatsApp. So
Can I just ask you a question?
Sure.
Can I go to the bathroom?
Of course, yeah.
Quick?
So,
A part of being a CrossFit athlete is you drink so much water and wow.
That's fine. No worries.
We can continue.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just carry on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No,
I'll be back.
can you?
What?
That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Good.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's all
Go
good.
for
You know where it is.
Thank you so much.
No, it's
Just restart.
it's teaching me a lot because, like I mentioned earlier, I'm into bodybuilding. I have friends who are into powerlifting. Just learning now about CrossFit, so it's given me kind of a different flavor of everything.
Well, and I guess even for me, like obviously I go to the gym by myself, and I've almost kind of become accustomed, and then I see it as like I'm going my own zone. I actually don't mind it, but when I compare that to say playing football, then I actually, of course, I love being a part of the team, and if anything, I try 10 times harder because I don't want to let the team down, or that kind of, even though if I'm seeing stars and I'm absolutely shattered, I'd still then run that extra 6 yards that if I'm just doing it for myself, I'll probably be like, I'll do that next time. So I can really see the how that would help. It's just obviously kind of breaking down the mental barriers to be able to go and let yourself be. I guess for me, when you've been, when I go to the gym or whatever, I'm not an amateur or anything. Well, because I am an amateur, I'm not professional. But I mean, I know what I'm doing. So, you don't feel like an idiot, I guess, where I think going into something, sometimes it can feel like when you're going into the unknown, you might be like, oh, you don't want to feel like the worst person. Or whatever else
no.
really. So
You gotta go out and give it a shot.
but that's where I think now, which Denise will talk about, what she's doing at the moment is she's got this WhatsApp group that allows people to, and she posts up a workout every day.
That was fast.
That was very
Oh,
fast. We weren't timing
She
it.
really is in the CrossFit. She ran to the bathroom.
Yeah, I'm competitive. Wow, I ran so fast.
So we were just talking about obviously the group that you set up, which I'm a part of it, and it's great because for someone that had been interested in CrossFit and not gone in to do it yet, is a great window into the types of things you do.
Yeah.
So talk us through kind of some of the things you posted up, and what was the inspiration behind it initially?
Well, first of all, the inspiration. Well, first of all, I am at the moment. I'm considering the current situation. I had to stop training people, and I had to close the gym. And obviously, that was my passion. It wasn't just my job; it was my passion.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to do something to fill up my time. I had to continue. Following what I love doing, and so I created this group. Obviously, like there was another option. I could have just posted my workouts publicly, but what I thought is I wanted to have a community on my like a group of people who I speak to, not just because posting things publicly, it's not really.
It's one way.
Yeah, you're not really reaching out to anyone. You're just throwing it there. Who wants to follow follows. There's no feedback.
Yeah.
I mean, not there's barely any feedback, but you don't know who's following. You don't know who's doing it. And I wanted to build like a community. So what I did is I created this WhatsApp group, and I added my clients, all of my clients, And then I offered on my Insta stories, I offered that whoever wants to join can easily join. So it's for free. There is a I do ask, and it's not an obligation, but I do ask for a donation if anyone wants.
Of course.
Um,
Well, now, when going through all this, you can see the time it takes just to create a session.
Yeah, I
so
do,
to
and
program
I
a
do,
session,
I
so-
do actually. So I post a workout every 2 days, and I don't just do that. You know, I love to still communicate with the people on WhatsApp. This group I have, we talk, we share stories, we share what we eat. You know, that's exactly what I wanted. You know, I wanted to create this little tiny community where I have these sort of like, they're not clients. I wouldn't call them clients. I would call them, I would call them friends. You know,
Yeah.
because even though I am giving them, like work to do, we are talking about.
They're giving you the feedback.
Yeah, exactly. They're
It's
giving
good
me
to help.
feedback. We're talking about so many things and cheering each other up. We talk about diets and nutrition and stuff like that. So, they're already paying me by being there. They're giving me an opportunity to do what I love to do. And they ask me a lot of questions, and I just love knowing what to say. I just
You're helping people.
Yeah, exactly. I'm helping them. They're helping me.
Mm.
So I post a workout every 2 days, so that gives them time to do. See, how I thought about it is, if I post a workout every day, first of all, that's a bit too much.
Yeah.
I mean, especially if they're still beginners, I wouldn't want them to train every single day. And that is not. And I would suggest that, and I do suggest that in between these sessions, they do something different. They do some mobility work. They do some running, some anything. They go out. Because at times like this, so many people are going through anxiety and depression, and I don't want this to become a routine. I want it to be very varied, just how CrossFit is actually.
Yeah.
And you're very limited to what you can give in a CrossFit workout at home.
Yeah.
So you have these 10 movements. Fine. Sometimes I do really think about what, how to improvise, like what to give them that's not so, repetitive. And it does, and I do make my research. And sometimes I give them things, and they're fun, and they ask me, how do you do it? And I record videos of myself, and I laugh, and I'm like, wow, I can't imagine how people are doing this at home in their kitchen, or in their garages, and their moms are passing by, like, what the hell are you doing?
You should get some of them to send some videos in as well.
It's fun. It's imagining these. So then I post workout every 2 days. Try to vary as much as I can. Give them mobility work as well in the workout, so they're not just workouts. I sometimes give them some strength work, which they can do with bands or anything, or chairs or whatever at home.
You're saying water, right? So water is
we could use water
packs
as
of
well.
water,
You could packs of water. You could use chairs. You could use backpacks. So many things. And nowadays, I think most people have some equipment at home.
Yeah.
There's because obviously now everyone is investing in home equipment.
To own a gym equipment. To be a gym equipment supplier right now.
Exactly. And everyone I speak to, they're like, yeah, I'm waiting for my equipment because they're out of stock.
Yeah.
I went to buy bands this week, and they were like bands from the US, like from America, and they were out of stock. And you would imagine that this big brand, Rogue. I don't know if you've ever heard of Rogue. It's I mean, many CrossFitters use this brand to bring their equipment from, and anyway, they have lots of stuff. They're out of stock, and it's a huge company. Like, how the hell are Rogue out of stock from bands? Bands are so quick to make. Like, it's not like it's.
Of course.
Anyway.
Unless they're made in China.
Yeah, well.
All my Instagram sponsored ads or whatever showing up just bands, like literally.
Really?
Yeah. Well, they know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I mean, so many people at the moment. I mean, you should send me the link though. So I'm really looking for bands right now.
I think I won't give any websites on.
No free ads.
Yeah, no.
No.
And it's going massively off piece now, but I'll be mad not to bring it up if we before finishing. Tattoos.
Ah.
So
what about?
So I've got a few, nowhere near as many as you. Stephen doesn't have any because he's too pure. So when did you?
Such a virgin.
So talk us through, not all of them, but you've got quite a few.
Yeah.
And you've got some striking ones. So did you get them all done in Malta? Or?
Yes. Well, not.
Okay.
I mean, I have a couple of pieces I've done in Ireland, where I used to live in Ireland for a couple of months.
Ah, okay.
Where I got really fat, drank so much.
Guinness.
Oof! I loved Guinness. Yeah, but I had to leave. That lifestyle was not good for me at all.
Don't blame you.
It was fun. Ireland's nice. Ireland's beautiful, but the people are so nice. But yeah, it's too cold.
Yeah,
too cold for me.
Cold. I'm not gonna lie, it's cold.
I did work in a tattoo studio when I was there.
Okay.
I was a manager of a tattoo studio, and that's where I got my tattoos. Some of my tattoos, but
Is that where it started?
No, it actually started here in Malta. I was quite young when I had my first tattoo done. Super young. I remember crossing the street. I was with my girlfriend, and I was like telling her, you know what? I was like 15 years old. And a friend of ours had just got a tattoo gun, and I told her, you know what? I'm going to go to his house. I'm going to get a tattoo done.
Nice.
And I went to his house. He was so young as well. He was like 16. He lived with his grandma. And I remember sneaking past his grandmother's house, and we got this, on my thigh, I got this butterfly done really bad. Really bad, but yeah. Initially I wanted to get big, massive roses on my legs. Thank God I did not get those, but yeah. I would never remove it though.
Yeah.
It's such a memory. Like,
of course. That's
the
same
so
for me,
fun.
like everything on me, even this kind of smiley face.
I do have a smiley face as well, like
Yeah.
on my ankles. I had that done with someone. I had no idea who he was. We just randomly said, let's go get a tattoo.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That's a funny story.
Sounds like my brother.
Could be.
and plans to get in, because obviously you've got them we don't have a video this time, but you've got them on your neck and everything, so was that painful?
No, well,
Really?
the neck, I mean, depends, like, it really depends on the day. Like, even with me, especially, like, for example, now I'm finishing my back, and it had supposed to be done in April last year,
Okay.
and, it's not even close to being half finished. I only have outlined, but it's super painful, and I just can't tolerate the pain anymore. I don't know why. I do not know why. I just can't tolerate the pain. Maybe I've grown. Like I'm weaker now. I don't know. Maybe I have more muscle. I don't know. But maybe because it goes down.
Your back is sensitive.
Yeah, back is super. And the worst bit of my entire body would be my butt. That's the worst, and I think would be the worst for everyone.
You have to sit down all the time.
No, not that.
Just sleep standing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do that. No, but like it's really, really painful on your butt. Super painful.
Wow.
That and fingers. That would be the worst bits of tattoos I had.
I don't plan on getting my butt tattooed anytime soon, so I think I'm going to be safe.
It's super bad. And to think I have these massive roses on my butt. I'm not looking forward to it at all. No. Maybe I'll be 60 when I have them done. I don't know.
Stephen, you planning any tattoos on your butt?
Let me show you my butt. I'm joking. Obviously.
Very tiny.
Okay. And then, sorry, go on.
I wanted to ask about supplements. What supplements do CrossFit recommend? Is there any?
Yeah, of course. I mean, multivitamins, very basic stuff I take. Multivitamins, vitamin C. Sometimes I go on, I would like to say it's a course of glucosamine. I say course because I don't like to take them all the time.
Yeah.
I like to stop them sometimes so my body doesn't get used to them.
Mm-hmm.
Glucosamine are for drinks.
Mm-hmm.
Fish oil is very, very important.
Yes.
Fish oil should have been the first thing I ever mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I take 4 of those, between 2 to 4 of those a day.
Mm-hmm.
Even if the box says 1 a day, no, you need to take a lot of fish oil.
Yeah.
Fish oil is super good.
Mm-hmm. Good for the joints.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very, very good for anything. I do take CBD oil. I love
wow.
CBD oil.
Interesting.
Yeah, I have.
Do you take capsules or
No,
you
I
rub it
take
in?
Oh,
drops.
under the tongue?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause then it stimulates the brain.
So that-
And I'm telling you, I've gone trigger happy, CBD oil happy, because I started taking it because obviously, you know, I have a background of anxiety, so I still have it to this very day. And I tend to lose my focus a lot in training. And so, you know, I started having CBD oil, and my supplier, he's also a friend anyway, very good friend, actually. He suggested I take 4 drops in the morning and 4 drops in the afternoon, and as many drops as I want. And so I was like, okay, fine. And I started taking so many drops of CBD every time I feel like I'm a bit anxious, or I'm about to go to sleep, or I wake up in the morning, I just take drops of CBD oil. And not wasted, but I used up all my CBD in less than 3 weeks.
And how long should it last?
And that's so expensive.
Yeah.
Well, it should. I mean, I think it should last you. I mean, I don't know, a couple of months. You know, you shouldn't. But I wasn't super happy with the like. I got my second one this week. Because obviously I took all my first one after 3 weeks, and then I was like, you know what, this is super expensive. I need to take a break.
Yeah. Does it help with recovery as well?
It definitely does, and my heart rate has gone. See, I follow like religiously my you know, my stats, my heart rate, my you know, heart rate variability, resting heart rate, how much sleep I get. I do that all with this band.
Which band?
It's this.
Is that Wood?
Yeah, it's a Wood.
Ah, okay. Have you heard about these?
I've heard of
They're
it.
pretty good. They're very good. I mean,
I'm thinking about getting one.
that's good. I have this
They monitor your sleep and then tell you how much.
You can actually even know if you have you know, any symptoms of COVID-19.
Really?
Yeah, by your heart rate, of course.
Wow.
Because it detects like every detail of your sleep, like every detail in your heartbeat. So whereas normal watches would detect like your average heart rate or whatever it is.
That's interesting.
You should.
I had.
I could add you in my group, my Malta group.
I had a heart stat when I was 26.
I love stats. I just love, you know, knowing the stats of everything. They just
Count the calories.
Yeah, everything. I have OCD about that.
But it's tough, I think, I can see why some people love it and then other people hate it.
Because you obsess. You might obsess.
Yeah. That's the one thing. That's why I've always kind of erred on the side of caution with it, because I really like data and like figures.
Yeah,
and
exactly. That's what I like.
I'm competitive, so I'll end up being competitive with my own data, which doesn't make any sense.
And that's exactly what happens. And I have there's this group because you could create even a team or a group on this, and some people, they're unbelievable. Their resting heart rate is down to 30s. Their heart rate variability is up to above 150s, and I'm like, what the hell does this guy do? You know, I'm not gonna mention any names, but he's a superman. He's a friend of mine as well. Like, so.
In the freezer, like, come on, let's get it below 20.
Yeah, but and like, for example, after taking CBD oil, my resting heart rate went down. Like an athletic resting heart rate would be around 30 to 40s, you know, 30, 40, really low 50s maybe.
Right.
A normal and average resting heart rate would be around 50 and 70, 50s and 70s. A really bad heart rate would be around 70s plus. Yeah. That means you're sick, man. Yeah. You know, you should get on the treadmill.
Yeah, I agree.
And mine at the moment is mine was currently, because of my anxieties and my stress and everything, it was not currently, sorry, previously, was around 50s. And considering how much training I do, I wanted to lower that. So after taking CBD oil, after resting, I got below 40s.
Oh, wow.
Below
into the 40s.
Into the 40s, so
yeah,
it's
nice.
below
Wow.
50s.
Okay, that's really good.
Yeah, I was really happy as well.
Would you attribute that to CBD being a big benefit?
Definitely. So it helps with anxiety. I have really, I admit it has helped me with my anxiety and my stress.
Do you know the two ladies, women from Wellbay? Have you heard of Wellbay? So they're going to be on the show at some point as well. Just they have CBD products.
Really?
So I've got serum and face moisturizer. From them.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
so
think
it's
I've
really
heard.
nice.
Yeah, I think I've heard.
Yeah, it's really good actually.
No,
CBD oil.
I get mine from Wowie and Kush. They have lots of other stuff as well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're just anyway.
Yeah, CBD oil gets me very foggy.
Foggy.
Yeah, when I wake up.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've experimented a lot with CBD oil.
Really?
It's so much fun taking it down. So much fun chilling out.
Yeah, but
maybe
I
you're
get
taking too
real-
much.
I get real brain fog. You know when you wake up in the morning and you just feel groggy.
Yeah, okay.
You really?
Yeah.
I find it very helpful, like for my focus and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, the first day that when I used to take it, I was like high. You know, I was hungry. Could be just in my head. You know, it could be I was thinking.
It works
about it.
wonders for certain people for sure, no doubt. And for me, it's not bad. It just
So
doesn't work for me.
just kind of looping back round then to what you were saying at the very beginning. So obviously when you were younger, you kind of you still suffer from anxiety, but you're kind of managing that now.
Yeah.
You're aware of it, which is good. But on the depression side, obviously you're taking medication and stuff for that before. Is it still present, or has CrossFit kind of helped in some?
Oh, CrossFit has definitely helped. I mean, I got out of depression because I don't want to be that person that that diagnoses myself with something, you know, just to say it. Because nowadays so many people like to say I have depression or I have this, I have that. You know, you don't have anything. You're just a lazy fuck. You just need to get off your ass. No, I mean, no, with due all respect, but so many people nowadays are so spoiled, and they're like, they want to they want to be sick just so they don't do something. Like, you know, they want to feel sorry for themselves and all of this stuff. And when I went through a phase when I had depression, and I was really bad. I was very, very, very bad. And wait, what?
not videoing anything.
Okay, but you coming up, with your phone next to my face, I'm like, what the
Yeah,
fuck
sorry.
is he doing?
Just doing this for Instagram. Go on, carry on.
And then I got out of depression because I just, like I said, I got off my lazy ass and I started doing something. It was not easy, I still faced panic attacks, anxiety, and so many negative thoughts. I struggle every single day of my life. And I'm not just saying it, because I don't self-pity, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I chose these struggles. Like, I know why I'm struggling. I know what I'm, what I don't like about my life, and I could easily change the things that I don't like. But the thing is, in life, you're always going to struggle for something. Like, if you have kids, you love kids.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to struggle for them. If you love the sports that you do, you're going to have to struggle for that.
Yeah.
Everything requires sacrifice. And what I meant by get up off your ass and do something, I mean, like, help yourself out, man. Like, stop self-pitying. Self-pity is the worst. Like, you could take a day of rest, just stay in bed, just relax, but don't let that take over your entire week. Don't if you want to cry, you can cry. I love crying. I allow myself to cry every now and then, but I don't let myself cry through the entire day or the entire week. I cry, I let it out, I have some chocolate, I'm happy, it's over. Get it past you. Kick ass. You know what I mean? Like, we're human. We are allowed to break down, but we aren't, like, we shouldn't be self-pitying and falling into this black hole of self-pity and
always try and pull out the positive.
You need to take the steps in the right direction somewhere.
You just need to accept that some things are as they are, and you know what, life is amazing, man. Like, you could have the worst, you could be in a really bad relationship, you could be in a really bad job, you could be in such a bad situation, but the thing is, if you're still alive, even if you're not, like, even if you're sick, there are so many things, and I cannot preach this enough, but there are so many things you could still do. If you could walk, if you could, speak, there are so many things you could still do.
And there's also, I think there's even if you do feel really bad, you're having a bad day or whatever, but all it takes is just to go, even just having a walk down the street and just smile at one person.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
then you get that
Exactly.
feedback, and then you're like, actually, that just makes me feel a lot
It's
better.
not easy to get out of procrastination, but I think procrastination is our enemy, and that's what if you tend to procrastinate a lot, then yeah, you're leading yourself, in a dead
It's
end.
an early grave. Sitting is the new smoking, right? So
yeah, exactly.
It's okay to sit for a bit, but we need to move. So.
Yeah.
So it sounds obviously the things you're on a bit of a path yourself. Where does it end for you? What are you striving for?
I mean, sports wise, you mean? Like,
Yeah. With CrossFit, yeah. So what's the
at the moment, goal? Like, well, it has. I mean, I've only been doing it for 3.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And at the moment, I've started competing. I've started peaking. This was actually my peak year. I was hoping I would, get into a couple of competitions and do well, but considering everything is postponed now, I'm taking the time off to work on my weaknesses.
Yeah, nice.
Not double unders, other weaknesses.
We're going to keep asking you now every week how you double unders doing. Well, I think we'll wrap things up then, and really, really appreciate you coming in and fitting us in around your hectic workouts and training other people. So
yeah, it was a pleasure.
It's great, and obviously our big thing, me personally, I think you're involved with this, is that we really want to kind of help change the perception of Malta. So Malta's not just known in Europe or around the world as a gambling island or blockchain island.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it's just a well-being and wellness island because it has all the elements. So hopefully with things you're doing internationally as well, you can start kind of changing the perception.
I do think Malta is we're quite hyped on being healthy and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know.
I think we've got a long way to go.
Yeah,
I
maybe
think
people I surround myself with.
There's always work to be done.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
I think
everywhere
we can try and join everyone up then.
Thanks to the diversity we've been having. Thanks to having foreign people coming in. I mean,
some of them.
Jeez. Of course. I mean, I don't generalize, but I do believe by having different people coming in, you have different mentalities. Malta has advanced.
It's growing too fast, almost. I think in a way.
Yeah. Well,
times are gonna cool
it did
down
bring
a
this
now.
freaking disease, this thing. But other than that,
we'll see.
kudos.
We'll see. Awesome. Well, yeah. Thanks again, and we look forward to. I think when this is all over, I think we're going to go and try some CrossFit.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do it in one of the.
Yeah. Follow my programs, damn it.
Yeah, I am. I'll post some time. So I need to post the time, do I?
Yeah, you have to. You have to send a selfie of you spitting.
Shit. Okay, it means I'm gonna actually have to do it, not just say. Okay, I'll do it this week.
Yeah.
I'll share one.
Follow my Instagram and I'll show.
Oh yeah. So how can people, if they want to ask more questions? What's the best way to kind of reach out to you? Wow.
I didn't say follow my Instagram to just say
no.
this
No. But we always get everyone to share. So.
Yeah. Well. I'm on Instagram most of the time, so it's Denise Gafa. Basically, it's just that.
Okay. All one word. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
There's this underscore somewhere, but I'm not sure if it's in the end or the beginning.
You'll figure it out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's somewhere there.
Well, we'll put it on the links on our podcast as well. So if anyone wants to reach out, they can. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Cool.